and the idea no abremo. Kofi ton to atena se Kofi akwa abete saying.
Obi mejo so bibi aboko de.
Bibi ekoyi.
Ede nyame ase.
Mate.
Bibi aboko.
Mate. Ma mema atik nso akwa aba. Vandal atik. Na vimate bibi ekoyi.
It could be better, very good soon.
My microphone nimra from kakra. Aha. Mazda mujina monai so.
Oh, nyame adum. Enche cry be forum bi.
Oh, okay.
On green or critical minerals and
green or critical minerals
and their management.
I mean that's interesting.
Oh yes.
Lithium and all those kind of
bauxite,
minerals.
all other green minerals now you know. I think Ukai Atlantic Barrier GV Limited for ne Aban Ekosiisen.
Yeah.
We actually held a press conference to raise concerns about Numa Bibri.
Sure.
Enche the understanding and say they were to present the agreement to Parliament for the final ratification.
Okay.
And say would present a petition to Parliament, you know, highlighting your concerns. You know.
Yes. But
But beyond that, you know, it's a Ghana for 8 years here, like we said in our press conference. You know, green minerals are not just like gold or diamond.
yeah.
These are the minerals of the future.
Yeah.
Almost in recent times there are, fluctuations in the prices of these elements.
Yes.
Nonetheless, no, that is the future. If the green transition finally takes full effect, you see the open, you know, these are the things you're relying on.
That's true.
People are suggesting and are attempting to use other ways of doing or of, you know, dealing with the energy issues. But green minerals, they are they are the future. And just say Ghana for 8 years here, what they actually are, what they represent, the prospects are, and Konya SA Faso,
Yes.
so that we don't repeat the tragedies of gold and diamond. No? Until that's what the forum is seeking to do. The fiscal implications of these new discoveries, you know, and the need for a new fiscal and regulatory regimes for such critical minerals, so that you don't just say okay, Yemfa Minerals and Mining Act, you know, to govern these minerals. Let's have a special dispensation that may be different from Ekosiisen, so that at the end of the day, in Chima, and all these are happening in the context of sustainability.
Yes.
So that in Chima, Bichimaka say, our predecessors and now the generations that came before us, no, we know, Koya Omufaso, Ebo, who buying any Fasua, Efrimo, Ebony. When we say we have Petroleum Revenue Management Act, so our thinking is to have a revenue management and a fiscal regime that thinks along these lines. What just here and some other suggestions. What he says is here, Ghana, we don't invest in exploration.
Okay.
And once you don't invest in exploration, you look, try hard as you may, you can't get the full benefits of your minerals and your natural resources. Because Obi Nedin Sike I exploration no. Until Obakacho said, me boka kesie until to recover my investment, you know, ebeche. At the end of the day, you are not going to get the kind of benefit that ideally you should get. But say you start a year investment in exploration. Already, of course, survey department, there is enough geoscientific data to tell you that there are deposits of these minerals in these areas. Look, columbite, tantalite. Ghana, we have all kinds of minerals, kaolin, feldspar, all kinds of and survey department. They are even geological survey department, geological department. They are even doing more discoveries, but they are handicapped. And one of the suggestions we're making is, why won't we? Now we have MIF. Instead of them sharing money to small-scale miners in the name of which is another conversation for another day anyway. But Sika Omunyano, they are getting the money from incomes from minerals.
Yes.
Why don't they become a lead investor in exploration? So that once they invest, now you are in exploration data. If you are coming as an investor to exploit, so in mining there are, in mining there are two things: exploration and exploitation.
Yes.
Once we have exploration data, no, and that becomes our stake.
Our stake in
it becomes our equity in your investment. And Tibet say 50% should come to us because one bear would answer you are coming to exploit.
Exploration because of the call on MIF, no. Say, and again, when we say exploration, no, there is a huge amount of risk.
Indeed.
And that is where a lot of states it puts go away from. So they allow the private sector to lead that.
No, in any event, I said private sector. If they can take risk, government should be the biggest risk taker. You see,
even in a developing country where resources.
So resources near what baby. And you see, with this scare of I invest here, and as if for any I could do you. Elsewhere, they have taken some bold initiatives, and they are getting the full benefits. What was that?
Well, the point is going to say again because of the political climate. Imagine, say, we had sunk say $3 billion in the first oil field, Jubilee field exploration to see whether it's viable. If we had done that, imagine that I mean, the government that took that decision.
Exploration is usually not done in a vacuum.
Yes.
And son obey exploration.
You should be
there should be some geoscientific data. It shows I had there
99%.
But usually what you do is to find the economic value of the resource.
Yes.
Say is it in commercial values? But pass it you've already done that. What I say? But Ghana say, come on, God has blessed Ghana with minerals. The question is no longer about but it's about the quantity.
Because even for private sector, they
go there to take the data.
And
exactly.
They should also be somehow very certain and
they go to take the data.
And they
no investor. Why invest in gold in this country? And 8 diamond or anything in this country.
Lithium.
And you lithium no.
It's there. The data showed.
And people had concessions. Wound to me has concession there.
Sure.
General transport, they have concession there. Until now, Omunim said there are deposits of lithium. The investors only came to do drilling and the other things to find out the economic value of resource now. Until he asked for a young wage mother. So why won't me take the lead
and do it? Because already they are also buying stake in
this company
established
because they need to invest so that returns be banner income. No, I mean I am more. So between say obi buy Kasewa exploration until you can only buy 6% and not 10%. Anyway, we've invested in exploration and that constitutes about let's say 40% equity. Imagine the returns you'll be making on that. And these are things going forward. No, I have made the point. Say there's this new conversation among economists. Say what's the caninu can be impossible. It is resource-led growth. And Yankupon and Chadi were chaying a lot of minerals. So we need, it's just about Yentnazi and same rekakra and Jinkwaya Ebefaso optimize the gains from these minerals. And that's going to be the focus of the forum I say, with focus more on green minerals. Because if we did that with oil.
Imagine saying 2000 and under Kofo if we had. But that time, so could we have gotten $3 billion at the time? Because I remember, when you even come to Mills Mahama, that was when we attempted to secure our largest loan ever. And that was $3 billion. The largest loan at a go.
Before then, the maximum we had done was 750 million euros and dollars on the
capital market.
Eurobond market.
At that time, the government decided and said, Charlie, but at least that's what the partners who told us said they sank into exploration,
which is $3 billion. Which is also contestable. What I say, do you have an idea the amount they are quoting as being the invested cost?
How much?
It's about $250 million. I mean, what I say, but who are you to say no? Say Omubwa. Who now here? But MIF could invest even less, and we have the expertise here. Look, Ghana is blessed with brains. Uko Geological Survey Department, I think that's a geological department. Uko UMAT, and you want to assemble the best brains.
We have
them.
We have them.
You cut down cost. You don't need expatriates to come and do a already. Look, Ghana for ever mind in the Ghana for being. And you can use the expertise.
No, we have some of the best
in the world. Actually.
Human resource mining in the world.
Yes. What I say, and if MIF can do it at even a lesser cost, because local labor there, form. You don't need expatriates. What you must say, and you see the other thing is Ghana, what we usually fail to do is yam fan cross initial investment no e was ro yentimi nya obi ya there is most of these resources are not found in just one location. Ntifani say oily. Say we started with Jubilee Fields, then 10
by Sankofa by, yeah.
Couldn't we, after the experience with First, you know, you say they are doing a womb? Wow, couldn't we
those
take the
ones
risk? We could take the risk to do that. Now, so I buy still a pen, you see, and without risk, the reward for riskless investments, elsewhere. Oh, the higher the risk, the higher the returns. And these are some of the things we need to, take going forward as far as our resources and their management go.
Yeah, we said Obi. Okay, let me see. Some few messages, and now I'll welcome lawyer Twum-Barimah. And one of the things, and so the last time I took was here. Now you push it for this whole GRA.
Yeah, become one. Yes.
And I think there's some action.
Oh, the advocacy paid.
Yeah.
Yes.
We say Obi, good afternoon. Please wish my brother and friend William Akoto a blessed birthday for me. He's Deputy Communications Officer for the NPP Canada branch. Mo Ewo Canada, a branch organizer in Canada. Thank you so much. Okay, lawyer Twum-Barimah.
Don't
worry. No problem.
No
problem.
Hey,
we don't do.
What time in our government? Obi, Yamatiasi, Yahoya. Sounds somewhere there.
Adom.
When say over the weekend, na metifia na medwundwum bia na me ya do mechanic ntia medwundwum ho a me dem be 2 days bi nyame adom na poda some from time table na nkontinya won dum no be 2 days.
I think it's off 2 days.
2 days.
Localized fault.
Oh, me
mostly for 2 days for that long there.
Na ngoma atikidi on the mining part, especially on gold. Na bibi cost we metrimu a unum say so be your large scale concession. Now we be ma say be a small scale miner. We be ma say be a mine one on the concession anymore. Omo agreement be you know me I'm from the mining area and ya na me say man pa. Obaju iskabi asana we in the concession now. One concession I think is about 25 acres if I'm right. We ma on one iskabi obaju I mean physical cash be between one. Yeah, let me just give you a rough figure. Let's say $40,000.
Oh
no, I mean cedis. I'm just giving you a rough figure. Okay. The amount figure baker.
Okay.
What this says you can read no. Every week be an who close here. Who go that's how they come on no so na concession Indian. So question which I'm going to say.
This is off the book arrangement.
Oh, of course. Well, I mean,
if you want to do assignment there.
Relax. No, I know, but I'm practical. I mean, me be said. So it's a yen on my name. If say I'm Yamendi a law see, and yes, say once we assign a concession to you, a year last scale miner, no. Once so every month we have this amount of good award of my state. Obi, what's the Obi,
as being payment for the exploration we took no. Like
mining.
Yes,
because mining we have done that already.
Exactly. Now you see, okay. From your mining, this is the percentage.
That's it.
10 tons.
But what would you then place the royalties they pay?
Okay,
you are paying corporate tax.
Another amount example.
No, and they will pay corporate tax.
Yes.
They will pay royalties. Yes. And mind you, say for every mine, Ghana will carried interest 10% together.
Sometimes it's more.
It depends on 10. That's what the law says, 10. I don't know if you have the flexible for you to negotiate further.
I'm saying that some.
No, I think it's possible for you to. It's the minimum 10.
13.
No. Yeah, minimum 10.
It was 10.
But I thought you was talking about all.
Yes, maybe. In the say gold, carried interest 10%.
Correct.
But what was the recent negotiation a year with lithium?
Lithium went different for more than 10.
Yes.
No, the arrangement
covered by law.
Different. No, different arrangement.
It's going to be ratified in Parliament.
No, I agree. They got the last time Minerals Commission boards by. They found a way smartly of getting MIF to also
By
get
That
something.
brings it to
Into
19%. No, that brings it to 19%.
Okay.
If you, I
no,
didn't
it's 6% they are buying. When you're okay, and the carried interest, no, 13%. MIF is allowed to buy up to 6%.
yes,
Okay.
to bring it to 19%.
No, that's, they are you won't even carry in ambum. Carried
let me
interest is
find
different
the
from
laws.
the stake MIF
from
is buying.
stake
Don't even carry in ambum, sir.
okay, but in
The
the
carried interest is free,
in
you
the
don't
act
pay
not
for
for
it.
mining,
But MIF pays
for
for
mining
it.
they a 10% carried interest,
Which you can negotiate higher.
you can negotiate. higher.
I know.
And
I'm
don't
just
be willing to put your
trying
question up in
to
meeting.
remember what Abu negotiate. Was there?
And
So who
read
read
13%.
who read
Yes.
the recent
Yes.
Abu Dubai?
Yes.
Or said, and my memories are quite fade on it. There was an agreed figure, and more negotiating higher.
Sure.
That higher figure, no, is I don't know me pese.
Okay. In what they did, they say.
Yeah.
We
have
have
agreement
no,
here.
remember,
The carried interest is 10.
yeah,
Yeah.
we have the
negotiated
carried interest
3 more.
of 10.
Yes.
We negotiated
that's
3
13.
more,
Uh-huh,
and
that's
they
what-
13.
Exactly. So I know that it was 13. So I'm surprised.
No, but
Okay,
that
that's
13, no. You see, this is the problem. The 13, no.
Emrano just 10 nti wo no adwanya be extra.
You see, there can be a new concession with another entity. So
Yes.
a new investor comes.
Yes.
On was on
No, I agree with you.
on 3% if free. You go back to the 10.
Yeah,
I
you go
don't-
back
And you
to
can
that.
have different rates for different agreements.
agree
It's
with
one
you.
of the consensus.
No, I agree with you that in the law it says 10.
Yeah.
But the point I'm a person making is because I remember we were able to negotiate
Yes.
more than the 10.
Yes.
That was the point that I was able
Very
to,
well.
I was trying
Very
to
well.
make.
It is
it
the
wasn't
lawyer.
meant-
Not me-
what they make
No.
I think we are educating people.
Yeah.
And the argument is
No, I
what-
think it's fair.
What are we getting
It's
out
fair.
of it?
It's fair.
And the subject matter is lithium.
It's fair.
And the fact is, for lithium, if ratified, we are
Yeah,
getting
more than
13%.
that's fair.
No,
That's
for
fair.
this particular agreement.
Agreement,
That's
yes,
fine.
that's
so
fair.
the next agreement could be just
be
10%.
10%. It's true.
But
And you
what
don't.
makes you think we'll go lower than 13%?
You can't do anything about it. Say, if I'm the investor, let me say I won't give you the 3%. What do you
It-
mean?
it-
I won't
it-
give you?
it- it-
see,
for
see,
this
you can't do
particular
anything about
one,
it.
You see,
for this
particular
Awoya
agreement.
one, no, we got a better,
Obi,
at least a good
Obi,
deal.
And that is what we are
I'm
saying.
trying.
Now even that good deal have been subject to so many criticisms.
And one of it is that when we say a year, 3% now on the account.
Yes.
Why don't we take our time, amend the law to say that look, carried interest in this country
Should
is
be
13%.
13 and now
Because
20.
Mrano
That's
allows
fine.
the minister
That's fine.
to bring regulations.
Yes.
To do so that while we are investor, when him say carried interest is no longer 10% when
Very
it comes
well.
to
Mami-
lithium and
Mami-
other.
Mami-
You can.
There's a concept I think me know. Obsolescence bargain. Essentially, no. Say na me no bargain ni bibia. Ahoɔden a me wo ene no may not be so strong.
Yes.
Enti obema me ketwa. But as time goes on, no, now wo ahoɔden no eba from. Na me ma ahoɔden eba so. What does that mean? Yeah, negotiate at 13%. And naturally, everything being equal, yahoɔden no ebeko soro. So there's very little room for us to go lower than 13%.
You see,
Very
you
little
didn't
room.
negotiate for 13.
Okay.
You negotiated 3% more.
Okay.
The 10%
But what is the
flat.
what is
Yeah.
no?
10%
is
yeah.
flat.
And it's a given.
It's a given. I'm saying that the new standard we've been able to set is 13.
Of course, indeed, when we get good negotiators,
Yes.
then we can.
you
then-
use that as your benchmark. That's the point.
That's
And
fair.
you see,
That's
here,
fair.
Why would you go below your benchmark?
That's fair.
you have no control over the extra. If I
No,
am the
but
investor,
I
let me
think
say,
his point is for now, if we've been able to do this, it will take very. I mean, every negotiator on Ghana's part
Yes, we'll have
would
a
now say,
benchmark.
okay, Charlie,
You see,
this can be done.
it
At
can be
least
that.
let's start
But
from
it
there.
depends on. You see, when you read the act,
Yeah.
it says the government can negotiate further interest.
Sure.
On terms agreed by both parties.
Both parties, that's true.
Now, if I'm the investor, I'm the first party. Let me say, now the assumption is that they got the 3% for free because it's free carried interest. Now, next one is, look, you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Me paying 3%, more because they
And
don't
yeah,
do.
Case by case.
No,
basis.
And so why don't we have a
nothing I'm
holistic-
introduce you the point say obsolescence bargain. The strength of the outsider will continue to go down.
Yeah.
That's the point
No,
I'm
no,
making
no,
to
but-
you.
this
But,
case,
but
that's in
to not leave it in the hands of
The
which
discretionary
negotiator
negotiator,
is strong or
what
not
yes,
strong.
yeah.
We
Let's
can
legislate.
codify it.
Absolutely.
I don't have a problem.
That's the point we are
We can
making.
codify it. I don't have a problem.
That's exactly
But I'm
our
saying that
argument.
the benchmark we have makes it so that the strength of the other person, the foreigner, no, keeps going down. That's the concept of obsolescence bargain.
Very well.
That's what I'm saying.
And back to my question, and then me busa lawyer. In the way carried interest, because the idea behind carried interest, they say, on mine and the day assassin or amount, we should have some equity stake in the whole business, and that gave birth to this whole 10% carried interest at the end. When you get that, how then do you go back and tell them, say, even after carried interest, still I will go there to sign my
where we have done an amendment to our laws.
Yes.
Na nanka de meme adwia na ekoso mi ya di bibisa na ato
yes
obi ade ne dia wo metu ya empro
simple
ya dia gold ne guo no so if say ya tia say na Ghana go coast na de say 18 de ben 17 de ben nyina na gold ne guo yen na ya nyini mpo say ba we ya
na say the first say ya wo de na nche say okay
and
just say you can make unreasonable demands in negotiations.
Eric has a point. I mean, lawyer has a point.
Yes.
Has a point. Chum has a point. Although we are
Nipa corporate tax.
I did corporate tax. I tax affluence. And the money obey your budget to affluence.
And what is the rationale behind carried interest? Carried interest rationale.
Because the resource is ours.
Yes, exactly.
It was our interest. No, resource near audience. When you say interest, not 10, you can negotiate 13. Oh yeah, what's in the 2 year gold? Be on time gold to be. How do you justify that?
No,
that's his claim.
The point is making is that if you invest in exploration,
yes,
you are taking away costs that the investor otherwise would have invested.
Sure.
Exactly. Which
so
is
and now see, that is an investment. Isn't it? As a way of taking away that cost and anchor bono. Yes, see, we are car boy exploration ma ubenya and fala di ejuma.
Yes.
In the form of gold. That is different from the arrangements and a substitute because we don't know what I can know.
Correct.
Ubasaka and Fasoni na would that's fair. But we are investing now on your behalf. And you know now way have we Barari DV for Eka's 250 million.
Yeah.
I know the
okay.
So you understand? We can demand say, look, we deserve some of the lithium.
Sanity.
Okay, and we can demand that lithium, no, if we actually spend on exploration.
Because
okay. The lawyer, your claim no is based on the fact that you spend this car exploration. Okay. Yes.
All the way to Achimota.
Okay.
And I'm as high in a queen concession.
Okay.
And now Queen Wedma. And now what me out doing when says I taking Quayma. I was many other son. If you have been young, I think it's on me. I would be a matic. Would you matic? No, what in this car? .1. Within this connection was an conscious. I think it too had maybe a no a percentage we are adding back at a week. We had about it won't never swim you. Now, some are buying them, so minus never swim you. Ever none one say. So does it? And to mention no media and say, also we are also with their wood in a week. May imagine a month. But soon be no, the work on the we are good that we know be an way removed less than 20%. Aside of tax, but you and compose once our bad man will never send the tax. No minus in Yabi. Obi. My question is, I mean, this was what was running through my mind throughout the weekend. I make us an amazing. You want me I think that I was like, as I again, I made you no, so now, I was with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And see, you know, San Casabre, powerful second. Obi, I'm going to go back.
But there is
because one thing
showing interest.
One thing and I
just, I mean, thinking about the thing and taking the step. Who trying to one of the I ran here not was and again, I was saying. Wouldn't first I would think or revise all their money loss.
Yeah, I'm about for frost idea.
No, but
what's that?
No, but to be fair, the money loss in Francophone.
No, but you know of the French colonial pact. And everything is dictated by the colonial pact.
I read that of Mali. In
yes.
fact, Nina is similar.
Hey, all the 14 CFA countries. All the 14 CFA countries. Yeah.
So that's it.
It's not terrible.
Interest is 10%.
The first of all, also won't just say that. I mean, you can go to.
If there is any mineral found, it should be a French company coming to mine. French company in mine we are. Omo koton the money is reserved in the French treasury.
Boosting
Ni nyinaa is because of what? It's because of
loan.
what?
Wow, see, can in loan.
They only have 10%.
Ni nyinaa is because of what?
Because of the colonial
The
pact.
law there is permitting that.
yeah, yeah.
The law there is permitting
Just
that. Enti na me say yes no enti na me di kan say ya mande your rules ni nyinaa on data.
Yeah.
Ni ya do say you capture adwene towards this line. You bako.
Yeah.
We will still get people who will be interested in no matter the law that we make, and they will still come and invest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he can withstand the onslaught from France, and that the Senegalese people will support him.
They will.
Said there would be challenges because once you take that step, you remember what happened to Gbagbo. Those will come, but the people should support him and get things done. Yeah.
It's like I'm going to say francophone spring.
Oh, of course.
Now,
of course,
increasingly,
of course,
Obia wants
of
to
course,
win.
of course.
Look, they are poor
Of course.
because of France.
Yeah.
Haiti is in the crisis they are
Because
in,
of France,
They
yeah.
are still paying
Colonial tax to France.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
You came to exploit and colonize us, and we are still paying you.
No, anybody who wants to understand what happens in the CFA countries, no, just Google the French Colonial Pact and
It's
see
terrible.
what de Gaulle
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Francophone
There
Africa.
are
It's
11
crazy.
laws be our money by,
It's
and those are the laws that are
absolutely
keeping these
crazy.
countries-
So
Absolutely
you need
crazy.
radicalism to change it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Radical leaders will just get all this. Anyway.
Aha, Bremo mame na
You see,
yenhwe.
mama mrek too heavy. Unim say until 2022 July. Ghana gold na ye wo ye gold reserves mu nyina say o man ne kwa hohihia mu a.
Yeah.
Gold na ye wo Bank of Ghana wo gu ho a ne ebetimi di ensa akoka say we na ye de bebo ye
dia.
na ye 8.7 tons. Now let me
The Gold Coast.
The Gold Coast meba 8.7 tons. O kind on saso onwotwe ene a chiripo enson. A kilo of gold average a price is necessary. I mean, you see a kilo of gold average of $60,000. A ton of gold is about $66 million. Okay, so I think your mass, Imam say over $66 million times 8.7. Ubenya saying about 500 and something million.
That's 574.2
$574.2 million. Sika na Ghana are buying since you too good.
And this is almost 200 years ago.
Yeah. Since you too good. ABC nanu July 2022. Gold and air war. So part of the gold
between 1468 to 1600. Ghana was the lead producer of gold.
Of gold
Yes.
in the world.
Yes. Now let's compare it to let's compare it to the United States. United States gold reserves 8,133.
UK cry is crazy.
No,
Yeah,
UK
you
is
know,
less.
maybe,
Actually,
yeah, they came to steal from
actually,
us.
interestingly, the research shows that UK is just about 300 tons.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
It is?
Oh, yes.
Well,
UK
well, I haven't
from my
researched that.
research.
Okay.
So I have the data.
Okay.
Some of the data.
But the
Because
video
we were
where
there.
Queen Elizabeth was touring on gold
Yeah,
vault.
I was equally surprised.
Oh, okay.
But that's what the data said.
Okay.
So US has 8,133.
What they want you to know.
I think about US has 8,133 tons. Germany has 3,352 tons. And then Italy
has
3,000.
3,352
more than
tons.
UK. I don't think so.
But so the upper Google the,
Yeah,
the
we'll
highest
find-
gold reserves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
Google.
think UK should have a bit more than.
The world,
300,
the
yeah.
That's how come the pounds is
Oh,
that
they're
powerful.
checking, man,
Yeah.
Mr.
Okay, let me-
May the last time I checked,
Okay,
I could be
alright.
wrong. Maybe I'm
Okay,
Refi.
alright.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
You see that the US is number one at
Okay.
8,133. Germany number two at 3,352. IMF at 2,814.
Can you imagine?
And then Italy at 2,451. China near
it did so.
but
Bottom line is that we should
Bottom
have more
line is,
gold than
yes.
these countries. Yeah.
yeah, well, near 8.7 tons. And this, I'm saying it not to politicize it.
Okay.
But I just want us to draw our minds to something. In 2022, Dr. Maumia started the gold purchase program. Gold purchase program now Akwami
FM.
now had two branches. The first branch was the gold for oil. Munto gold, e was CDC mu. Na yemfanko kra fan won famra. That was the first leg. The second leg ni say Munto gold, e was CDC mu. Na yemfanko gu Bank of Ghana. na no de enye da chinchirima asem every sad time na me no wo kasa 8.7 no ebesi ne no let me get the number for you. We are at about 34 tons now from 8.7 tons. Yeah, we are about 34 tons now.
310 as of this year.
Yes,
that's for UK.
There was a serious event in 1999 by Chancellor Gordon Brown.
Okay.
He sold 56% of
the gold.
That's what I'm saying, sir. That's what I'm saying. That my research showed that.
Yeah.
So, Obi, the point I think would they subtract 8.7 from 34 tons.
That's a lot.
And see, Dr. Bawumia Bayano, that is the number of tonnage under the gold purchase program, which is the gold for reserve program. And to your calculation now, under a byway in Kwano. I think, Mr. Your calculation. I just want us to subtract 34 from 8.7.
8.7 minus 34. 25.3.
25.3. So 25.3 times 66. Saying.
Yeah.
That's 66 million. Saying.
1.65 billion.
1.65 billion. So
the value of the gold.
The value of the gold that within a year and a half, a buy way at top. Edi akogu ye vote mu edi akogu adaka mu se daachi ye ko ahohiehie mu a ye mfa sa sika no mfa mbon ye ho bra. The point I am making na me dey kan aso Eric de ne so ne say I don't know sorry Eric J send me message that's why sorry me dey kan twum de ne ho ne say ye to you good na ye de magana fo say mumuntu gold no na mutu gold in we are buying now better through Bank of Ghana with our CDA.
Yes.
We will not have exchange rate problems ever again. Opa obi a wotie me bia. Me pacho fa Dr. Bawumia speech no. And Obi, please indulge me because we are having education, no.
And then you have
and I'll finish it. For Dr. Bawumia speech no. Maybe a page 43. Item number 147. Or see, however, given the large amount of gold reserves Ghana has, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Ghana has 7 large gold belts stretching from Axim, Winneba, Nankodi, and Laura. According to the Geological Survey Department, the belts cover an area of 43,000 square kilometers, with about 50% not yet explored. So 43,000 kilometers of gold a
taho
area you gold a taho emu 50% depend and ye de ho aka 50% aka ne emfa ye ho kan sa 50% aka no see tu a 5 billion ounces of gold.
5 billion ounces.
5 billion ounces of gold. So what the bagana abrofu sika mu a $10 trillion. Gold I am to you no.
And this way is running Yassan. Said the maker. I'm just adding to you. The man say I hear radical changes in our laws. Not once on quite say a buy but to yento when you would out 2 year and the woman there but I can't get
David the abane can say 5 trillion. My
10 trillion.
10 trillion, sorry. So 5 billion ounces, $10 trillion in value.
And which area? Where did you say?
7 belts. Okay. There were 7 belts across the country. Yet the gold deposits. It moved 50% depend on yetu. Now 50% now can and 5 billion ounces.
Now, how did you come by that?
No, that's
also
in Dr. Bawumia's speech is what he's reading from.
Ghana Geological Survey research on my you and on unimpo or Koti Ghana Geological Survey.
Okay.
Then to say, my government will engage exploration experts from the universities and geological institutions to assist in exploring our 7 gold belts. However, even if 5% of 5 billion ounces estimate materializes, 5%, 5% of 10 trillion, you're saying?
Yeah.
50 billion. 50 billion US dollars. And no one said nana or can. Enti ononas I say my government baby and me pay. I say as a matter of policy, We will legislate that concessions in these areas with proven reserves will be 100% Ghanaian owned. And owned. Since with proven gold reserves, we can easily raise the capital required to hire the expertise. It basically, now small can I say, some gold reserves na kaninyana, which is that 5 billion ounces ninyana. Ya di ninyana be ma Ghana for. Yen fa ma abontinsu ni bia metubio. Na ya de bank na ya de beba no specifically for miners. Na yen fa concessions ninyana ma Ghana for. Say mon kwaji bosia o bank we ho. Na mon koye proper mining.
And this will be large scale.
Whatever scale,
medium,
whatever scale our medium show.
Yeah.
What you say, small, medium, large, whatever area. Ghana phobia.
Ghana, we have two extremes.
No, now we have only
small scale and large scale. We need to introduce that. And it's one of the
so the point is, munya musika kakra makwaje bosia kakra eden e de aka ho mo de akotu mutu wi a aban na to. So what I say, that is only policy to show, say, going forward, no, we must benefit from the gold.
From the gold.
And I think, say, see, the politics, this is the right way for us to go. Say, Ghana form mebunu, Ghana form penny for a more didn't know him, Diano, more muntu gold, no, mutu gold in we are. Ghana for ya besa to ya de, ya the beer reserves, ya can ya coton ya de wa manone. That is where the country is going. That is why, for me, I think he has a solid vision when it comes to mining. But anyways, that's for another day.
Mate, na wadwin try WhatsApp number ne 0548 443 523 0548 443 523. Na o messages na Fabre Bekayama 0548 443 523. And going forward into 2020, I think one of the things we have to do, maybe together with Mas Dano, would be since we all agree, mining is a critical thing for our country, extremely critical because of the value of natural resource in this country. You know, maybe we should pay attention to what the main political parties are promising, or more
mining policy,
mining
and
I think it should be
policy.
It should be a very important part.
We can have a collaboration on
the
then invite them to come and present Ghanaians their policies on mining.
Because mining has proven to be critical for us.
Very
because
key.
If value of untapped minerals
is
10 trillion, that's enough to make this country Paris.
More than other. The city of Paris, the country of France, country of France,
yes,
country of France,
with proper management. No, I was talking Paris in terms of
as a city.
Beauty, the city.
Have you been to Paris?
Yeah, I've been to Paris. But Paris is not that bad.
No, he has been everywhere. Is there a place
but I admit that is an exaggeration. Where
I was disappointed at the airport. The airport was a bit disappointing.
So and some of the streets, did you find that some of the streets are not as...
not very well done. No, but generally Paris is not a bad city.
No,
But the city, I was shocked by how beautiful it was. Moscow, Russia,
yeah,
it's so beautiful.
Of course.
But Russia suffer from Western propaganda. But Moscow is extremely beautiful.
It is. Unfortunately, but it's a very nice place. It's a very nice place.
No, I mean, I think I need to find time and go to Russia too.
Yeah, Russia. Moscow is beautiful. When you go to Sochi, for example, Sochi, a big city. Charlie, Russia, my idea. Wait, it will be good afternoon. Please wish my brother. Okay, I think I've done this one. We say, Obi, could you ask Tonto if at the current price of cocoa, farmers are going to be paid any arrears? Because my understanding is that the current price was supposed to be part of last year's price. If not, then when is it going to take effect? Gasti Mane Obrek will deal with the cocoa issues some more. Ma yenhwɛ ne yɛntoa so nti wɔ adwenkyerɛ Fabra na afei yebetimi the akai amam. We say Obi, don't be deceived. Why? Even if all these monies is given to us, we would go back to nothing. The most important thing is to have a good mindset. Kuza or Techima. Yeah. We say Obi, good evening. Please kindly give my number to the NDC panel member on your program for me. Okay, I'll do that. This one says, Obi, please help me wish all members of Akweteman Christ Apostolic Church International, the Reverend Minister Dr. Nanayao Antobre, Prophet Ernest Ejay, Da Costa, aka Rockstar, Rosina, Emmanuel Boche, Mercy Prempe and Portia, the birthday girl, and Angel Ochre, Yeboah, and all members of the youth ministry, a big good evening. Where's the Obi? Good evening. The NPP man said Ghana, then Gold Coast, has only 8.7 tons of gold. How can Gold Boss
has between gold reserves and the amount of gold you produce?
Yes.
Gold reserves.
And yes, what you were saying here, gold reserves. I was central bank. Yeah.
Not gold production.
Sure.
And last year, I say 6.5 billion.
Sure.
That's not
I mean, for over a century, Ghana was the lead producer, accounting for over 40%
of course.
Produced globally.
We say Obi, please tell Atik and other people who are asking the government to give more to Ghanaians to go to Prestia Gold Mine and acquire it because they are in need of investors to take over the mines. Indeed, obviously the Ghanaian opposite we invest in Prestia gold mines at the amount. This one says, please, also good evening, the nation's Obi. Please, where is Kamal Dean of the NPP? My regards to the hard-working MP for the good people of Esikuma Odobin Brakwa, Yao Asamoah Bokman or Breman Bedum. Eri Kamal Dean, Saudi Arabia, deputy head of mission, Saudi Arabia. Nancy Obe contested primaries, Nanton, but for the second time, no, and Shada and Koye. But Kamal Dean is in the one Nanton for day no matter Obama.
I
but he's a solid material.
You see, sometimes
vibrant communicator.
You need to take a step, debrief yourself, find the relevant answers. I mean, otherwise, Kamal being a representative, guy. Come on,
solid guy.
What else could you ask for?
Charlie. Anyways,
since Kamali, I could tell you, no contesting Puni, I could tell you where he was contesting. But would he have born an MP? I might not be able to even tell where he comes from.
Exactly. Nanton MP.
Yeah. You know, when Mutala was there, it was easy to tell because he was outspoken until he moved to Tamale Central.
Yeah. I have a Mutala MP in Nanton.
And you know,
see, I see it Nikra MPP.
MPP.
MPP, a friend is saying.
Minkai.
Obi to us now. They know they're not answering.
Okay, no, don't Google. You are from the party.
Don't put him.
But it goes to prove sexually. Oh yeah, MP. Now, if you don't advocate well.
Yeah.
Amaya until unka, and they be a fellow squatch for Zuka said the word parliament is gotten from the French word parler.
Is advocacy.
Talk.
You go to talk. No, parliament is a talk. No, you can be a solicitor.
Yeah, but that's all the value advice.
At some point you talk. At some point you talk. Me a solicitor. You talk at some point.
Yeah, to Ferry.
I said to Feru, that's a popular name.
Yes,
a friend to Feru.
I'm a popular name.
What's your friend? No, that's Obi to us. Macallan to us.
Honorable to Feru.
Yat,
brutal.
Obi. He's a hard-working MP.
He's a hard-working. Yes, you need a trust now. I hard-working
MP. Honorable to Feru.
Ekosiisen. Adia ba ku bi anam pese me kan sa ne ato.
Me ba ma menti we free hotel. I think on GRA way, no. Now you should be happy, right?
I'm not entirely.
What the man I think in advocacy meaning.
Oh yeah, it's true.
That's not prepared to say a shade. What was advocacy as you did?
That week,
I remember.
Nobody has interest in whether Amisha stays or not.
Yeah.
But so long as he stayed there legally, we don't have a problem. But my opinion,
so I mean, let us be.
No, you have to tell me about
retroactive.
One person at a time.
Because you give us the opportunity to advocate the issues.
Sure.
Nah, Maminda Mampin Swasi, but you know, well, in a limited manner. As I say, he took action, and for me, it means OTA. Even though you be no OTA, Yansam but it should be which I say OTA. But the question I'm asking myself is, Eban is saying all along, is it that he was not advised about the expiration of the man's tenure? And at the end, of course, what happened? Say, indeed, if the president was not advised about the fact that Papa you are tra netem so, and other sutiho, me didn't including the Minister for Finance, the board of GRA, because the president cannot be micromanaging. Ntina OT board no, and see the Ghana Revenue Act, no?
Yes.
Revenue Authority Act, no? It's very explicit. Unlike in other institutions, I said it last week, whereby board, no, you were you can say institutional representation.
Yes.
When the president is the one who appoints all members of the board, and by his only guided say way as so Free Ministry of Finance, who should not be below the rank of a director, one from Bank of Ghana, who should not be below the rank of deputy governor. But you are directed, but who are your appointment? And he does that so that you move buano to run the institution. And this is a BBC banner, you don't advise him. And I to Nufuna went ya. Nina Hadrin, either way, and koye. But better late, they say, that they never. Now, so, Nema Mira, who oh yeah, when he did this good deed, we can one drama, we can name he defiled it with another letter. He issued a retroactive letter.
Yeah.
Meaning, una soon to be
a lawyer the two.
No, me about you are moderator, and you will soon be esquire. And giant him will be kicker. I said the esquire, no,
barrister at law.
Yes, and solicitor of the Supreme Court of
Ghana.
When you commit an illegality, can that illegality be corrected by a retroactive action? Yet me answer. Nipano, would you to say why he has overstayed? And for the 28 months that he was in office, no any contract. You issue a letter on the 24th of March to regularize a dear nanke so we hear some 28 months ago. Would you I mean how? Me do want me here. Say Nipano, you were supposed to have gone on retirement. The law allows you, the labor law allows you to give him extension.
Yes.
You did not give him an extension. One man contract biao. One man nanke say man kofi because sebi. All wisdom is not resident in Mr. Shaddai Ami Shaddai's head. There are others are not muye juman. There are others who are equally versed in the issues of tax. I'll bet me do abaho. But fan craze or no, who so tax expert that, and you wanted him to continue to stay in office. You should have done the needful. Signing man contract. One man. Ave adina tijano wa permanent no. You've gone to write a letter trying to cure the mischief, in fact the illegality that was committed 28 months ago. 2020 na pepe na wenya 60 years. That was when you should have either extended it and abeka chense masa wa be ma be bi on be ni na ntikofie wanye and ne kumi kra ni say is this how rule of law works? Say the bonnet, but we regularize the chiwa, we write letters to regularize bonnet audience. Me do want me here. And until that we are still, you know, we need lawyers, kasa, not kasa. I mean, work is ongoing. And nearby now you cry is even enough evidence to strengthen your claim. Say he had overstayed. Say we still need to vindicate some claims before Shiraj and other state institutions because ayesana. This is not a country that is governed by men. It is a country that is governed by laws. Otherwise, and then Niakosui or Chinabi Obisubet Matna, I can say, even though I'm due for retirement, Minko Metnasia a teacher, I'll find a way to get somebody to write a letter to regularize me. That's not how you work. And Mamina Ono, look, Mamina Otisunoso. Onusu is also another culprit. For a whole year, no Onusu to hold without a letter. Says here, I'll be appointed as Commissioner General. Until the 1 year between the retirement and any new appointment, she's now 61.
Mamino.
Yes. What is it? And you see, 3 of the commissioners were due to go on retirement. And Oman
Mamino, the end, they were a contract.
After 1 year of expiry of illegal stay,
yes.
Says here, our man is appointed here.
Okay.
As the Commissioner General, which obviously would mean Obemano 2 years and whatever.
Yeah.
But for the 1 year now or Tiswa, yen man, you know, and you see anything. And she's also going to be part. There's another commissioner, so the Commissioner for Customs, so also can be. Also, the time I saw Kofi on Koi.
Or Mama, the contract.
Yeah, why? Say, no more manner, but as at the time I now, Mishadai, Kofi, no, so no man, she. And I'm privy to some minutes of GRA board meeting. No, some of them grab board no crack. I said, "Sempo, if there is an opportunity to cry, say more extension crampo." What I say, and you when you do these things, it leaves a whole lot to be desired.
Yeah.
And I think as Obia, who has lived his life as a practitioner of the law and as an officer of the law, I feel these are low points that would only go to taint his legacy as a president of this country. These are things that you can avoid. What is here?
Well, sir, good evening, Obi. Ratification is allowed in contract. No. Greetings to Kofi Tonto, lawyer Adomako.
What is ratification in law?
But I was say, or the further and better party.
Absolutely. Who can ratification in law? Sebi.
It's allowed in contract.
No, what is ratification? The person doesn't have a contract. And we are talking about retroactive appointment. If he says a retrospective ratification is allowed, and the Metias here say more contract, but so illegally you can stay up to a certain point. Then the letter ben
they ratify.
I think that's what he was saying. No, so maybe can retroactive. I think say or no, so that's probably what he was trying to say. Who started before retroactive?
No, me bow into what? So what is a contract? Contract has to subsist between 2 entities.
Yes,
and the validity of the contract is time bound. So you can't say
the topic for front and buy no until no miss.
Because this is when the resource buyer and then you see focus on that which produces resource. But my point is that contract is supposed to exist between 2 entities and it is governed by time and is bound by time limits. You can't say at the time without any contract. There was some kind of contract which you would ratify ex post facto. What is it? Contracts are supposed to be valid. To ratify means to and yet the meaning of this is legal. To ratify means to approve or enact a legally binding act that would not otherwise be binding in the absence of such approval. In the constitutional context, nations may ratify an amendment to an existing or adoption of a new constitution. And ratification in the sense of contract. What does it mean?
A legally binding act.
So at the time he had no legally binding arrangement. And what are you ratifying? So the letter, how does it even constitute a ratification? Letter now mature. It was just, in my view, a retroactive appointment letter that came as a result of the advocacy and the concerns Ghana for a reason about the overstay. What is here? And unless maybe this is some new education and move mommy, say you can always, after the fact, come up with something to, correct something in the past.
Obi said, hello, Obi. Retroactive regularization is what the person meant. I think it is not wrong to regularize what might have been an inadvertent omission.
Is this?
Godi Intema. This inadvertence had him, but that's fine.
You know, in Lord we have something called inadvertence.
I think what the texter wanted to communicate was that the letter was meant to ratify the illegality. Quote.
Rectify or ratify?
It should be rectified.
Yeah.
But I not say ratify the illegality.
Different.
Yeah. But
maybe the president.
But I don't think Wayne's not a rectification. The president letter didn't.
It
cannot be rectification.
But you can't be rectifying. This was crimes.
Yeah, but how do you even
rectify a crime?
An illegality?
An illegality. Call it a crime. How do you rectify a crime?
You can rectify a mistake.
And this is not a mistake.
There is case law for that.
This is not a
rectifying
mistake.
Yes.
This is a deliberate refusal to act by your own self.
And you're on 1, 2, 3. And then now,
yeah, Obi, just to add a little to the article.
And the Emra Cocoa price issue.
Right, me Abraham, who say letters, no.
Almost come to you.
You do.
I don't go for a syndicated loan.
Yeah, some.
They go and use it to pay them before.
No, there was a time they were not even credit worthy.
Let's focus.
Which was
my lawyer knew, and then we'll come there. Lawyer and Pacho.
Okay, so official letter now, demand a very short, simple letter, and another video to just about one paragraph letter. So I'm pleased to inform you that the president has granted.
He's pleased.
Has granted. Has granted you a 2-year extension of service as Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority from 11th of October 2021 to 10th of October 2023. And this letter is dated 26th of March 2024. Obi. 26 March 2024
was when the letter was
and letter where you're trying that is the date on the letter and letter where
appointing somebody in the past
will be your man appointment
in the past
2 years or so whatever after
before.
Yeah, but lawyer Adomako comes back based on this fact.
Fine.
Say the letter was supposed to yes, we'll say a ratify will be appointment in 2 years. Or not say had they not by their action allowed for a continuation of a contract by he being there, you understand? Once or more allow no man the war no, they've allowed for a continuation of the contract. And he says a person ratifies a contract when they accept the benefit, thereby rendering the contract legally enforceable. This can include signing a formal contract, but conduct may also ratify a contract.
No, read it again, please.
When I am possible, right? This very government abapai you can asemi na yayi no eye mu adwuma no aban no wasem bi a wakato wode da yentini aban no say anything contract wajai wan kan ba bia wakoka kire Ghana fo nyina wo parliament the House of Records so wonu obi ani contract sam Usun oman na wie edi mfe dosia na ye amran say ye compulsory retirement go home. Na wase agi obi na konyo oteso na say bi dibia na wodie no eye de wi ni firu akofi ye nya bi nya kofi mane metara ho. Enti no sa no replacement ni bet scarce no an na beba say ye nwene hum ye na bia ye ma contract ni letara ho. This is the worst of this government.
Now determine the scarce and
the GRA.
GRA. You see, Obi.
Munim skill set a reverend.
He's talking about Madam Julius, I'm no one will not ask you.
Right, Obi. Before he came in, was somebody there?
Absolutely.
Thank you. And if I couldn't quite know about me, in fact, according to article, and also the domestic
domestic revenue tax
on in charge. Okay, and now it will be quite Yaduba and what breast asks us on retirement. And married few friends on the general, you know. I'm married free. I'm married free,
Reson say or so. O mampani wo kwan so be kase to aso
ana mampani ne se won mo bia nkwan to aso biem asemo akata parliament no wase won mo bia nto aso biem wo bra so akofie ade wa wonya wase na mu ba si e kasai na sinamu wo GRA no ampempem ne go
And only the walker, every president.
How does that hobby now?
There
was
already there.
Mammy or two, what if I was in a boy?
Say you want to.
And if you are a fan. So the answer is that there is a replacement there now. Mammy grass and never disaster the contract and call money be on Kofia or Bessan you be hard with them. So what are we talking about? I didn't say we're by a matter for discussion. Now what Transian say you're trying to let the movie upon the baby? And about Kofia public accounts committee. Yeah, we said if what you all brand abna events answer. So I'm about no even. For about 5-10 minutes, I'm going to me ask a simple question. Simple question.
And your question behind the yes.
And your question behind us movie or this was what you had
how would I?
What you how would I used to see how your birthday by
you can give an answer. That answer no can lead you to
today.
There were unintended consequences.
But the answer will be simple. Just that it has unintended consequences.
Then you come with the answer. Which means he knew, sir, he was staying in office illegally. Without any authority, without any letter of appointment. Yabisa was the board has been written to. It is waiting to hear from the board. So why the office of the president now write a different letter? If said the actual letter come on board, now board can say Yabaka say amount extension and say be in Camibia. Why is it now that any board now the secretary to the president and issue letter? Hey, when I move Chasabitu na sana bujatu it demochuachna.
Lawyer Medase, I've just been informed, sir. Nanton Mpini, a friend of Honorable Mohammed Hadi Tufeiru, or a deputy Agric minister.
Oh, is he a minister?
Yeah, he is.
Indeed.
Yes. And he or the deputy Agric minister.
We're brutal.
Yeah. Where's the Obitel article that not all illegalities amount to a crime. God bless Honorable Afenyo Markin, third deputy speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament.
I chose my West I chose my West. The reason why I'm saying there's a commission of crime is that and you see, when you take money that you are not supposed to take,
yes,
does not amount to commission of crime. And causing financial loss to the state, and what is it?
No, but I said the element causing financial loss to the state. That crime, no element. Those elements would have to be present and signed
on behalf of an entity that you have no legitimate authority to do. What is here? A kaba.
Is it possible to say he had an oral contract? Say the president said to us so. No. We are looking at possibility. Me say, is it possible?
No, if he did, they wouldn't be writing this active letter. If he did,
to ratify the oral contract.
No, they would have referenced oral contract. Lawyer.
No,
if
but
there's a prior contract,
yes,
and there's a new one, you reference the old one.
I know, but the oral contract in itself, difficult to prove in court because your word against my word.
So that's what I'm saying. If indeed there subsisted an oral contract, in the first instance, it obviates the need for any further contract. And some the two papers you reference the old contract. Say maybe subsequent to I like the words. Pursuant to contract which was agreed between
No,
laughing at Medi Bonnie or what I said. So I don't think that there was an oral contract. Otherwise we don't need
Kofi.
On this issue,
yes,
legal education.
Okay.
I think
okay.
Obi, before I make a issue now, Obi some more about master planner.
Yeah, master planner.
And all your interviews be. Unfortunately,
I mean, court no a better one. No, but I think it was
but on the face of the pink sheet, something wasn't right. Somebody
let the court will decide that.
On the face of
it. As a journalist, you did very well.
And understanding the subject. I mean, if you are a lawyer, you are soon to be esquire.
Yeah, indeed. I don't know the topic, but and then two, on a lighter note, the Attorney General. The state's prosecutor.
Yeah, here there is on then is it on way
the young lady no say why me
leaked
yeah,
video. I hear the
yeah,
Republic is after the guys.
After the guys,
Court.
Now,
I think that's someone secretary.
That's interesting.
I wanted to bring it up
It
because
is really interesting.
I wanted to bring it up because you see, Obi, it's time we educate ourselves as a society and a nation. Say, cyber security.
Yeah, the act is
2020 Act,
and it's a
1038.
very interesting act. A lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
A very, very interesting act. All kind of provisions
All kind
now.
of provisions
Very interesting act.
And what kind? Section 66(4) now it talks about sexual extortion. Says sebe ubenya obi mfoni ana bibia e fa na deja ho. Now they be to abontin say odi gi ho sika na odi gu ne ho ani. Obi, you can go to jail for up to 25 years.
Sure.
Up to 25 years. Enti you best say
Because Osha statement of offense now.
Yeah.
For count 1, no. A conspiracy to commit crime, namely non-consensual sharing of intimate image, contrary to Section 23(1) of the criminal. Remember the Criminal Offences Act, Act 29, and Section 67(1)(2) of the Cyber Security Act.
only can 61 saying 1-2.
67(1)(2).
Okay.
Yeah, where non-consensual sharing of intimate image. And as our particulars of offense now. Almost say, and we know this should be.
No, the guy's name is
no. After investigation, because before you draft this, no, this charge sheet not just say why your investigations say we are the court. The Republic versus Edem Xavier Ketty, Candy Love Kwachewa Ababio. And Henry Amponsa, aka Henry Fitz, and I'm into bracket at large. It means
the relationship.
Only Henry Fitz. Only at large, you know. But he's part of the.
No, I'm just trying to use the word.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
I brought it up. I brought it up for as educational
for people to be aware that there
for
is
educational purposes. There is a law. Inti yenyina na obi unim say obi kra share say ayiwe no so mo ka so mo ko deeper obi share na wo so eba phone so na so share but they will not go to. I'm saying that they can yeah very careful as a society, you know, about these things. You can go to jail.
No, when they find video, when they take a video.
So according to
those details, no will come up.
Who read the rate now? There was an extortion by the Edem guy.
Alleged
extortion by the guy, and then
since 2019, no. That's the allegation.
Atik.
The second quick one here, and then
quick ones now.
Very important, and then the Chief Justice program it was very instrumental.
Leading justice
for the first time. A Chief Justice in the Niswadi Hunu to just say the timer or ye Chief Justice. This is the strategic framework. Or they be juma. Now there's so many say Obi. There were a lot of administrative processes. Ni bia. Washe da ma ya ye ho krata to ho say emfa say something about injunction on the dead impo. Say bia ye kosi obi no obi de
injunction
dead body.
Yeah. Say ni say ye de ho enhihye ya ba kwan ye say mo fa so. I mean sitting there I was quite impressed.
And I say injunction, the dead bodies be of fridge maybe 30 years.
Because of injunction.
Chieftaincy there no. Oh dear.
And
it be 40 years, not fridge.
Obi the framework about on chieftaincy issues and all other things. And I think sir this is BBS ayensen na ho say ye koyenim no. Every chief justice be about for ani swade hunu tudwa. Na ye nyina ye hu say wani swade hunu ha na opese ofa court system or the judiciary system free now they could do ade ba call kan ne say ohwe the judiciary system more about 7,000 employees They are not necessarily lawyers.
Yes.
But they are within the service.
Yeah.
And so, or the education be some paralegal education for all service workers who are not necessarily lawyers, because so muna jumani tosinia and my lawyers and judges and also
lawyers
and jumani tosini.
So already, is there to be a judge from the lowest of our court on the hierarchy? You have to be a lawyer.
Yes.
And the magistrates can no longer transition.
No, it is we a magistrate. You have to do magistrate. Not say we a lay magistrate. You have to do law now.
And they did some mass recruitment.
Sure. Send a baby now lawyers. Into you go through legal training. But now it's the requirement.
And His Excellency, the Vice President, na Kolonche initiative. I know na ma menya kwan na me nso me kotie bi. So many tina me pese me fa fidie so ka ho asem say bibi a say ebo ma me na baso. Na ye nyina ye ta na chi. She may not get everything right, but at least say many swadi hunini. We na me pese me kwan we na
so we can hold her to it,
and we can
all contribute. That was the key point. I mean, make here say me de many swadi hunu ato dwa ntimu nyina mu nso mu na ye moa na ye ntimi fa enye quite interesting. They have a website all the framework and what they are for critical issues. Ni nyina wo ho. So I have the link. Let me share with you. Now be emra issue so. You see, o mine na ye chichire no.
Anyway, sorry.
Yema no kre.
Mrebe mu anka.
Yema no kre eni enim.
Oh, I mean, me I just feel sad sometimes people just
I'll give you the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think say you drew baby as a nation ubetimi aka say aban ne mo ne ho modern your constitutional and democratic right. But aban ne modern ba wo mo ye wo bibi ho no eni kwan say wo de entro efare ho na wo de kan me ba cho what I say wo yes se wo nyina so bi mpa sa nyina so no na wa hwinhwan nyina so no. NDC for every right to say aban wadwuma a waye no anso ani se wo se wato kokoo for ebuomu a ye free say isha ubetimi akasa no problem. And then aban no so betimi aba be challenge o say there be entisa but enhye da emfa ntro enye wunyina so adenti na mekasa obi besa bosumi nsia nso ni ne ebetena wa fidi kesi so sa time no aban ne to kokoo buomu if a bag back wa na ye 800 cedis and a band the call 1,308 cedis ebeye chinwa shi any ho ye bebre and a bana ne bo no form na ye say ema mukra mukọ cocoa board control room ema ukonya evidence say ba cocoa ne to a
trading room
ye ba cocoa ne to a ye yusu bibi e friend of forward trading enti ade no ye bedi hu bo ne ya to no enne bat e da akye asem me ba cho nya sa na nyina agitum enti e bi enne se cocoa no ye 10,000 cedis a eno nkyere se enne 10,000 cedis no ene ye to no na ano enya sa na nyina nya ante ase sa na nyina nya ante ase ena sa na ye de aton cocoa fiti kwadwo wangra pa so be si ne me ma me be se mostly
it's not sport purchases.
No, it's all
into it's a mix. You get it. About forward, they are mostly forward near more.
About 96% is forward. So the sport is negligible. But what I say, negligible. And yenim. I say Nancy a document be by say buy kotoko different countries. Meanwhile, it was just a standard practice. Sometimes you could light crop ni be the France and the production cost be cost there. But you could find near the good, you can near the good. I didn't know. Obi, what is the NDC saying? NDC at the chart be about chart or media ban say April 1st, cocoa boa pejaya could do $10,000. I wrote it somewhere. Where is it? $10,120 on April 1st. On April 2nd, and the bonus says shine bar $10,000 exactly. And the NDC, that is the current spot price. And the NDC for say in Tumuna buying the buy no abaya sisi yenuanom anaye papanum koko for. If we say Esanka buying you the spot price $10,000. Esa buying you the spot price of $10,000. Remember, on April 1st, na $10,120. And on April 2nd, about $10,000. What does that mean? It means a price in impono enyina faako. Enti other na buying you $10,000 of spot price no one find your calculation no. It is a buying you $10,000 of spot price ne dia. Now buying any cocoa for any year, buying sisi cocoa for. But the NDC for one country on say a free September buying year and tumu edika and tumu na the last change no here. Prices no essence konanim na essence so there is what we call an average achieved price. And then we have the actual achieved price. So even though the spot price may be $10,000, no, and no one said the buyer will actually go and buy it at $10,000 because the buyer is rational. When him say a buo ne betimi akosro betimi abafom, enti e bia bibinti na dia kodru 10,000 to on top. Until within that time frame 6 months, no, you strike the average. Who strike the average now? Unya 4,726 of achieved of dollars. Who strike the average within that time frame? No, who looking at the price increment, etc. Now, unya 4,726. Even the average achieved figure numpono. Untimi yusu no. Figure ube yusu ankasa ye the actual achieved figure. Ube yusu now dia your calculations so ube tumu ana ube tiswa whatever. So actual calculation is just a little over 3,000 achieved.
How is that calculated?
Actual price. Actual price is based on what they will actually purchase the product at. So they calculate it.
So if it's not the spot price, how then do you calculate? How is that?
Mostly, I think they use the average. The average achieved price.
Average achieved
over
price,
a period.
Over a period.
I think he said
average.
No, because I say 6 months. 6 months. And then maybe 10,000 6 months ago. Maybe
so that gives you an average.
I have the chart.
I think that's what
that is different from the actual price.
Okay, the actual one I don't know.
If it's not the spot price, what then is the actual price?
The actual
and from the
price,
price even lower than the average.
Actual price,
absolutely.
The actual price of Munya is just a little over $3,000. So that is what they will use to calculate the price. And so when your actual price new year say about when you will be a friend FOB, freight on board. Freight on board and you will two calculations. Your net freight on board and gross freight on board. Time immemorial answer na last year beba no aban we kura use net FOB ni bi de kire say aban ne koto koko ni nyina wia sika obenya no no atete ono ne ka ene freight charges ni sa ne ma ni nyina firi mu na de beka akire no woni akuafo na yeden ache
yes
and aban say there be say ye be no gross FOB ya ton koko na wie no ya ntete eka ne ade ni nyina mfiri mu ansa ye betue akuafo kakane ansa na eka na aka na yeden yakotuatua eno ne gross FOB nti say ye use gross FOB enti aban use gross FOB no the figure aban nya ye aye akuafo de say about $3,200 or so of achieved price no akuafo mo de $2,548. So it is never the case. Say Ube use spot price of $10,000. It's a lie. And I don't know why the NDC as a political party. So Ube say cancer abai mon humo dia ka ben chantro. Don't lie. Other than when you sue the spot price of $10,120. Why did you use the spot price of 10,000? What accounted for that 10,000 figure? Why didn't you use 9,000? Why didn't you use 9,500? Why did you choose 10,000? Because the highest was 10,120. Why didn't you use 10,120? Unim BB in 2016-2017 crop season, unim the highest NDC Funya. The highest they got was 3,190 at that time. $3,190. But only figure we use here for their calculation. So we share chart now. Sami Jenfi de beto abonti. Now I say the figure they used was 2,950. So the question is, so we see a new spot price. I don't know who they when you use a spot price of 3,190. Why did you use the achieved price of 2,950? Because do you know why? Because they know say omu twa ntro no mu di tumu a san konta ya mabeye eya di mani pa bebre so omu beti ase. Tien phantom, it is a strategy when it comes to propaganda. You see, one of the strategies of propaganda ne say so when him say udi for kra na twantro na koso twantro because nipa na o tie na dwene mu no ebeye kesne ne o hu de no kre no hu de entro ntu de twantro no na katum na de also ono so ono kre no meka no ono so nkantum. It is likely said de also obeka no kre bi kra wantimi ankyere mu ye entro ne kakra be den ebeka. That is the strategy because they know you went there. Obi, you went there, you educate them. I sat here with Sami Jenfi, we debated this issue. Say a new spot price. I even helped him on the discussion on forward. Yeah, better now I need a debate on what even forward means. So here then Abusumi is no. What's that done to create the impression say you don't know the difference between spot price and forward price. Just to confuse Ghanaians, just to lie to Ghanaians. And here papa no for no kure woman say 10,000 na buy no use ye. $10,000 because I buy no cocoa no waton do na dada. Waton no nan we twa mu dada. Enti di obetimi use ye de friend no achieved price. Enu nti na wonya 2,070 cedis. Obi ye buy. O de Yenfa, I did the calculation here. Yenfa September 2023. In fact, beto 2017, beto 475 cedis. I think TMA pa a bag of cocoa as of end of 2016 na buy na 475 cedis.
The 64 kilos.
What was it?
64 kilograms.
Yes, 64
for 64 kg.
64 kg no. Now 475 cedis. And now I know say a bag is 2,070 cedis. Utiti free more.
That is with the increases, yeah, my increases.
Increases from 2017 by ABC and Neno. Because there are several increases.
No, the 58.6, 58.2 now with the account.
Yeah, and the for 2017.
The 58.2 near from 1,308
to
2070 and 58%. And 800 to 1,318 and 63%. So cumulatively, no, I buy no atumu over 1,545 or so cedis since I buy them.
But Google for 336%.
No, no, they can't value. Me can't nominal value. Me can't percentage. Me say ote 475 ni free 2070 anymore. Sika e dia ka hono. Me patcho just do the math. 2070 minus 475. 1,595. Enti ye ba 2017 besin no. Sika ye dia ka ho e 1,595 cedis.
Oh.
Sika ye dia ka ho.
But not in percentage terms.
No. This is actual cedis. Okay. NDC buy no omong no beto cocoa price at about 396 or so.
It was 7,600 per ton. So when you divide it
yes, omo beto about 396 cedis or so. And omo de kodru 475.
Okay.
So you can see the difference. Just about 100 and something cedis per amode tomo. what were the 100 and something CDs and atum in your tenure? And a yen yadi 1,595, almost 1,600 and yadi atum. No, I can't queen say. You are only the 1,995. I can't what the in fear watching. On only moment the pabonini. Now, why would they just 1,020 CDs per count? Only 120 CDs count. Who now any papa? I say me what to be that. And a Jum man, I say me what to be that. And Toby, let the record show. Say, $10,000 cannot. And was not and can never be the figure I used to calculate it.
Very well. I think your point is well made. I'll listen to lawyer Twum.
Yeah, fast enough.
Okay. Hey, sure. Yeah, I get you. And a few minutes.
Quickly.
Yes.
Yes. Langam Pesemika, but ABA, remember in the course of the Quebec scholarships once a month. I think it will be helpful for you to bring innovation to an institution. Institution at the end of the day, you are, said to be the worst enemy of the state. I mean, nobody says that BBI equals for scholarship secretary perfect. Me, I've tried applying for scholarship at the secretariat in Retroactive. Me, come experience chair. You would feel say. Oh, yeah, mammy, I never mammy crack a zanke and hard, But the way I was even treated, but then I'm talking about Retroactive. What I say? Oh, yes. And sometimes when I listen to people talk about Ekosiisen as if this is the first time. Look, what has happened? How many people even knew about scholarship applications? Says yeah, it's advertised. You apply online, go for do up to 2,000. Can you wouldn't even know say Bibisa Ekosiisen. What do I say? Me, and I'll tell you, I have experience with scholarships. And all I can say is Kingsley has done well. He's brought innovation. And you name him say, if you are a scholar on Government of Ghana scholarships, you can number. With the award of scholarships without Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Education, it requires innovation to be able to keep the scholars in school, in accommodation, and the rest of it. And I'm not saying the system there is all perfect, but it's a much better.
I mean, one thing he did, apart from decentralizing it, was even that strategic way to sign MOU with some schools.
With some schools, yes.
It was a brilliant
because it gives you discount.
Yeah.
What is here? And this idea of
payment, schools name has students,
because of the MOU. There's assurance. What must here?
And just Charlie.
And local scholarships. Can Ghana for universities, Maza? And you'll be an etimitua Ghana deal, and you'll be an etimitua. But it has increased the number of local scholarships at Yema. Me, I feel a lot more can be done, especially with some courses.
And also, as he has proposed, getting a legal
framework.
Legal framework.
This is just an office in the office of the president. It needs to have his own legs to stand on. And me, when I find he's one of the few CEOs I keep saying in this administration, because your quality is determined by the crisis you find yourself in. Ono is always in crisis, and yet one of the institutions that Ono is always dealing with crisis. But that is not to also say there aren't a few excesses that could be taken care of. What you say, but you don't take the few lapses and make those represent the bigger picture. Esana, you are discouraging the modern bono, and in future be a person and wouldn't, and we'll be going back to Canino. Now people freely apply online. I've had the chance of sitting on a panel to interview applicants. What do I say? PhD, MSc, and bachelor's applicant, and everybody comes there with a feeling of equal opportunity. Obia feels I have an equal shot like the next person. And interviews now, I've had the chance to be on some of the panels. Interviews no because anymore. Look, Professor Anochi, I was on the same team with him in one of the interviews. Uba, I have no idea who you are. And the questions I said, maybe Bisau, and I score you based on the responses you give me. What must I say? And I don't know, partisan scholarship, because if At the end of the day, all 3 and now 4 on the panel, Eka said no. We highly recommend. And before you end the session, you indicate, performances. Oh, wait there, we highly recommend say Nipano and Nipano, your man scholarship. Coincidentally, Ebi Onimobi or Wabemo. You see, you can't need them brilliant now. Masa, MPs or Mutito, Bebrena need you. No, if you had interactions with MPs, I want to say you can't need you. These are needy grown-ups. So.
No, but if you are talking a school fees of £25,000, how many Ghanaians can pay that?
18,000 po. Me see MP no ti honum no. E to de bi okon constituency. No colleague oye minister mbe hu na on ti mi nko ense no be man. O man mbru 10,000.
Now be me ti abrochiri. Me school fees at the time $30,000. Me kwaji loan. Me kra na me ti abrochiri. What are you talking about?
You see, sometimes I'm not saying there aren't issues, but when we exaggerate the minors to make it look as if this is it. Look, he has changed, he has transformed the secretariat. Now, BBI online and so on and so forth. We can discuss or raise concerns about some of the things we think could be made better. No, but say, see, politicians can you know how scholarships? No, and to assume say Obi MP into Wuska. Miss you or come there, dear mono. No, we have friends who are MPs. We know we are in this. And you see, unless you are telling the MPs to be corrupt, the salary is saying, and yen 20,000. 20,000 would be at the current exchange rate. Say $2,000. Andrew $2,000. Now, Nipano school fees £18,000. Nipa packet ya Andrew $2,000. Constituency for BDB. Obesha busia, obeto fuel. You be say titi, what kinds of levies, no loans or work. Say Nebeka. And you refer to such child, no. Say no papa is seeking into on your needy. It totally be unless you have a corrupt understanding of who an MP is.
I think
until you feel that
last year, ye di cocoa debate. Unse offer cocoa farmer be.
Yeah.
Assembly no catch us. So how many bags a season? Also over 1,000 something.
If you are not careful, you think that cocoa farmer
richer than that farmer
needy.
No,
but
so
the money that guy has.
Because look, yes, I'm on for look. Me see what you chrome. I'm on for to me coat and tie. Now so he's sweating underneath that coat, no. Or shower uncommon nim the way be starting common. Because no papa no. Let's not be deceived by coat and tie to think say I'm on 40 you. Having said I'm cocoa in Misu. Now cocoa but the idea is just surviving by the thread. And it's something that for me is very worrying.
Ghana cocoa.
It's been run aground. Unim say almost last indicated loan they went to raise 800 million. Because the institution is increasingly becoming credit unworthy. Because of the way my mismanages our office no and institution no. And I feel say it's because of the way it's been run no. Now production I come from. Now we need clarity. When he was talking about how the actual cocoa price offer farmers, the producer price is calculated. We need clarity. So if the spot price.
If
the spot price
versus achieved
is
price.
not no. You said so it's just like in the forex market. In many markets, all right, usually you have transactions come in different forms. You can have a forward contract whereby even the forex market, if dollar is selling at 2 cedis, for example, today, and your dealers anticipate say in the next 5 months, I can go into a forward transaction with you now at Twum-Barimah at the prevailing price. Until every 5 months now, who desire dollars in Beman Pepe, we for print and count. What I say, and we have spot prices to another spot rates, whereby and then this is the prevailing rate. Now we are. Now, if we are saying that we are not using the spot price to calculate producer price,
it's never used.
So what are we using? You said it is called actual price, and I wanted to know how is the actual price calculated?
Achieved price.
Actual achieved
price.
How is that calculated? We need to know.
Okay.
What you must say, because if you are not using the spot price to do the calculation,
so the achieved price is what they actually purchase the product.
That's the spot price.
No. That's not the spot price.
No, when you say the actual,
the $10,000. No, the world
price, the
international market price
is the spot world price.
Yes, now.
Yes.
And at the achieved value now will agree at the future contract. No, Uber ton cocoa no price now when you agree what ton cocoa no and only the achieved price
because you would have sold the cocoa
before.
Yes,
before you sell the cocoa before you even get the money.
Also, before you go for the syndicated loan,
you have sold
you should
the
go
cocoa
to the banks with contract with your buyers.
Yes,
and those contracts would contain how much you are selling it to your buyers, and I think that's what he's talking about.
So that's the achieved price.
Yes.
Very well. Good. That even makes our conversation. Can say.
Yeah.
So in September, because the loan was contracted somewhere in September.
Sure.
So what prices did they send to
the banks?
Okay, September.
You have an idea.
September.
That's what we have to find.
September achieved price was $2,600.
Okay.
No, it's not achieved. I'm talking about what was the spot price in September.
Oh, I know they
banks, because you go with, you see, your buyers buy at the prevailing price. Agreed between
at the negotiated
price. That's the right word.
Yes.
Which is also guided by the spot price.
Absolutely.
Until what is the negotiated price is submitted to the bank?
That's what he says. 2,600.
No, 2,000 was what
That's
the achieved
yeah.
price that time. 2,600
per what? Is it per ton?
Yeah, per ton. Per ton.
Last year September
2000 achieved.
Then the news were underselling a cocoa.
No, you see, I think there was actually. My man sent the graph.
What was the spot price at the time?
Okay, I think what I'll do is say all the questions you have about this conversation. Yes, put the questions out. Maybe we'll get the appropriate quarters to respond.
Very well. So let me
proceed. I think here's the graph. You see that at a particular time, one sharp increase now a buy.
Yeah, it started rising.
It started rising just
between 2023 and 2024.
Early 2024, there was a sharp increase all the way to 10,000. But this is the actual graph showing you
the spot
prices. The spot prices, which is around 3,000, 2,000, 4,000.
2023. It started even rising in 2023.
Late 2023.
Yes. And that was the time you contracted this loan.
No.
September is the last quarter of 2023.
Okay. I think make your point.
No, make it.
You know, September is just a month before the last quarter.
Yeah.
And see if you look at the graph, the trend, the trajectory is that it started rising around that period.
This value is not September value. This is before, because this is the previous achieved price.
Okay,
it was used for September calculation.
Okay, so I think, sir, we need clarity on what was the price negotiated. What you are saying. And you see, at what point this is an interesting thing. The producer prices are negotiated at the start of the season, and the season starts in September.
Yes,
and you do the negotiation subsequent to having a syndicated loan. When you don't negotiate prices, so you cannot tell me, sir, at the time I am negotiating prices with farmers, now price was still around this amount. What do you say? Because prices had started shooting up.
No, the prices couldn't have been. It was higher than this amount.
Okay.
It was higher because this amount was the previous year. This 2,600 was previous.
And so okay, let me ask another question. So the forward contracts that they usually sign.
Future contracts. Is it forward or future? Oh,
forward. It's forward contract.
Forward sales.
No, futures are also another time that you can futures, options and all those things.
And options.
But this is forward
derivatives, yeah.
So I'm saying that at the time na you negotiate sadi, what was the duration of every contract has a duration. What was the duration? What I say. So if you are saying this was the price of the previous, which means the contract went beyond it by 2 years there. For which reason you can use this? Otherwise, if it's just my understanding is that the price, the period, another periodicity is just 1 year. Every season, BR comes with new prices. So if you're having a forward contract, it is to cover the entire season. No, we are then you negotiate new ones. That's how come this one they are increasing. Maybe
you see, this one they are increasing because there was an anomaly, which is spike now.
As for contracts, there, if you have a contract, whether there's a spike or not, that's the benefit of having a forward contract. Sanity, what is here? But I'm telling you that these are things that are negotiated seasonally, every season. What is here?
Okay.
But having said so, OKBB about the increase in 58, absolute values, say it has been increased to cumulatively.
Which years are you looking for?
2024, the 2023, 2024.
2024 year.
More increase, he has moved from 20,928 to 33,120. And yes, sir.
Yeah, that's the tonnage in
that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm talking about now. So before this increase, it was 20,928 per ton. What is the exchange rate today?
13.
Average.
They use 13. They use 13 for the calculation.
Do they have a fixed rate they get from the Bank of Ghana? Because if you are using the flexible rate that we all use, it's 13.4.
But for the discussion, let's use 13.
No. 4 pesos is a big deal. We are talking about millions.
I know. But I think they use 13.
Maybe. So it means that this could even amount to losses due to exchange rate miscalculations. But I'm trying to make the point, say, when you do the calculation in cedis, without taking into account the exchange rate today, now what is the value of that? Exchange rate would take away that increase, because if something was around 3 to 4 cedis, now it's almost 14 cedis. About 10 cedis are back home. So you see, sometimes you compare apples with apples. So if the tonnage price for producers, in 2016 was so and so in dollars, and then it is saying in dollars, then you can do a comparison. And who catch them say, you've increased it by 300%, I agree. But you go and take a weak exchange rate regime, the rate one number. Now what do you calculate here? And says, you've increased it by 336% in dollar terms. So that's why I always like PPI. Purchasing power parity, PPP rather.
Yeah.
So no, and that has to be calculated in dollars. So you know how much 30,000 yen. Top.
Make dollars. And I'm the call this amount. I gave you dollars. 2,548 achieved. That's the dollar value I gave you. And I gave you 2,000.
So that's the tonnage price today.
That's the achieved tonnage price in dollars.
You see, I'm getting confused by this achieved. How much Namudima price producer price?
Okay, so maybe 2,540.
That's the producer price
for the farmer. That's what we are
per ton today.
Yes, that's what we are giving to the farmer in dollars.
No, that is more increasing 50%.
Yes, in dollars.
Okay, before the increase to
before the 1,821.
So it was 1,000.
So the dollars are there. Nobody's hiding the dollars.
Kofi,
okay.
We see before the increase, it was 1,821.
Yes,
very well.
Which was September, no? Yeah.
In 2016, 2017 crop year, how much was the price per ton?
In what?
Mudima producers, no.
I know I don't have it
in dollars. You don't.
No. I don't have the. Sir,
I thought you had like the full
the world market. The NDC quoted 2,995 a year, and then they are saying they gave 66% of this value to the farmer. 66% of the 2,950, which we can calculate.
Okay.
What they are saying. That's what they are saying they gave to the farmer.
But we need further and better.
Clearly,
I feel the Cocoa Board has failed us.
Okay.
Because they are even struggling to raise syndicated or more brembo.
No, I don't know. And I we can have a conversation on that.
I agree.
The conversation now is that you are throwing it out there, say, so we use $10,000, which is a lie.
Yeah, well,
that's the conversation we are having.
If that's not the situation, I appreciate that correction, which is very important.
Yes.
Until now, people say, what price do you use to do the calculation of the producer price?
Yes.
So that Obi Baka's spot price in a use.
It's a lie. That's
and it's
the
even
main
selective
argument.
in the choice of spot price now. I say we need to let them know. Say yes,
that's the main argument.
We need to be educated.
That's all.
Because if I'm a farmer and I'm told, say, 10,000 was used in the calculation,
I'll be agitated.
Now, I'll be agitated.
So it's good to correct.
I think it's also fair, say, in that Cocoa Board statement,
they should have told the world.
Yes.
I agree with you.
I
agree with you. You see, they did, Mamichro. They did because, but they did it wrongly. They stated the figure 33,120 and expected the ordinary person to do the calculation
themselves.
That's wrong. You should have done the calculation. Yes. Anuni.
No, I have this.
Yes. What the farmer is getting, they stated it in cedis. They should have stated it in dollars.
Okay, let me do the quick.
We only buy 13 now.
13.4.
No, just do 13. I told you they use 13.
we are using. You see, Ghana runs a flexible exchange rate regime. So exchange rate is determined by the market.
You should 13.4.
BOG rate number.
Do the two 13.
BOG rate number is rate.
And the BOG rate today is 13.
And yet, no more.
What they gave to them. Use 13. Let's see.
Is taking effect.
Use 13
on
and
the
let's see.
5th of April 2024.
I think use 13 and let's see. I think use 13 and let's see. Who use 13 and let's see?
Yes. Divided by 13.4. It gives you 2,471 per ton.
Yeah, and I'm choice. And 2 years to get the 2017.
You are ton here. Is
16.
Yeah, ton here 16 bucks.
You get the 20.
No, this is per ton. Ton, I me calculate.
Sure,
Here,
say it's 16 bucks.
Yeah, so that's
Is it to get the price per bag? Now, so divide it, so figure by 16.
By
That's what
16.
it
Okay, so we come back to 33,000. I said.
Yeah,
So 33,000 was per ton. And that's what I've calculated in dollars.
Yes.
So we can just stop there.
Okay.
Not per bag.
Okay.
So per ton is 2,471.
Sure.
What has here?
Sure.
So, and they are even quoting a higher figure anyways. But with the mind fancy next week,
Okay, we'll continue.
Yeah.
Lawyer Chum, this is the issue on our table.
total eclipse in parts of America because
and the total in all the way OBF you can use the middle seat crana fe yentie we ni emponko.
Obi.
Yes.
Okay. Me a beneficiary of cocoa. Cocoa wants a medicine scholarship in the for independent secondary school. From SS1 to SS3. I mean,
okay.
A great asset to this nation.
Me cocoa wants 7 or can. Any be an enemy demon and what you cocoa. Now what to do? I'm a saba. All right, the Alice will go 1 day.
Yes.
Obi, the year can you understand? Yes, say statement a minority issue. I mean, kind of little a bit of that statement. I better not continue to be kind of, but I'm kind of a bigger crab in show. Sorry. Good. So, I say, according to the statement, the recent surge in the world market price of cocoa to the historic high of $10,000, which is an equivalent of about 100. On we use 13 cedis rate, equivalent of about 130,000 Ghana cedis.
That's the same rate I'm also using.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. I didn't say statement now. We use it in America. Yeah. So 130,000 Ghana cedis. It's kind of 1.3 billion. As against the government recently announced producer price of 33,000 Ghana cedis per ton, which is 120 Ghana cedis per ton, or 2,070 per bag. Okay, constitute about 25.47% of the international market price per ton. The minority in parliament through this statement in an essay they demand an immediate increase in the producer price of cocoa to ameliorate the plight of the cocoa farmers. Well,
increase to what value? I'm can value. I'm increase it to. What would have been the appropriate value?
The American year. You see, mathematics about try future rate. No one wine to the farmer. Do you say what do you cocoa? What swad a gusun no bre at aban abaji na saban abeto ekoton. What ton wa sika wunya na wanya mfaso bia na wususu se beba me bisa ko fi question bi se ya ne ya nyimre ya aka na bono nso ya ti ya kase cocoa price na per ton yesen was $10,000 na ensan me bwa
listen the
me ba so at the san ya kase me bwa enti at san ya kase in simple terms at san ya kase ya so in simple terms no kwani no to we say in fact, as the finance may call it, about some kind of windfall revenue. Ebia on saka me bwana ntino eba ne sa no one to no so de to man
windfall pa
na say nye sa no mo calculate cocoa price
one mo calculating but at least you see young is very simple me enko too deep for them what can we do what can me apa me yedi na me yedi ndete me okay empejamu aba e wo sika wunya nimu in the world market ti de na wo du sisi eye wakontabu na nyanya sanete amani muso ana yesu ka say wo mo se de kotoma wo why do you have to even debate about this matter? Plus whether we are using that young kind of professor be able and confusion. One sikana kosoro akodu empenim bia esefata e wa ban di mu. So almost the to say the sefata mo. Simple matter. When it's not too high or too serious to call for. Any be I didn't to call for. Obi, mama track about 6 months ago as man working. I think that day I was also here. And my can say me come to us me. CMB scholars be am a boarding. Now it's no more. But na kana me expect say kan nya bia na saban be kase be free education nti na wayi afri wo bi nani wa anka yam progress na say kokon form na ba na de or ko university obenya tertiary residence free because of the scholarship. Na yam progress na nko ho na yam hu say akuafo no fa so aban nya wo ho na eso mbo pa obi and then impossible even ye put us in ko atiko form bebere pa akrampo no still aban nya so mfaso efri wo mensam. It is a man of us or moments in Faso ni bi. And Faso ni bi on bet menya fru nsam ne say wokoto a esika wo benya no ensisi no. Mono so de safata no. Admani safata wo safata hwe na katua epe ana wo safata. You see sometimes you have to go away from the book long things. The simplest thing is that ene ya kase ebo no kosoro e wo dwoman so. It means that ban koton na ban nyesika mu oduru kakra. Ekwani de no tisen ono so de mu oduru wo de to ban de no mu oduru sa bia na enti sa eti man de safata simple thing. We don't need to be arguing about this matter because one could dia kokko na kofa ma wo banya bibi da kwaje so course indicator loan unya bibi an kofa ever nko on na aduanam anam hasomu enam kokko asa na ahimrache na so so bia bon kokko bra so say so kofa ni kokko ba kofa mu akofa ba wote air condition mu wan ko bi on the code nanti wuramu akofa akoko no koso ari mefie atachemu no te ahwe na kokko no so ade aba ana wakoto na wo no wotenye sika bia ono anti anko adama so ewa amanane wo na akoe e ma no eti wakoma na se bibia ba safata de ye busa na se ye ka kire nyana no se owura wokoba ye no wakonya de safata so ntu so ma na de safata. Simple matter. Whether it was forward or backwards or future or whatever, we don't care. We don't care. Give them what is due them. Give them what is relevant, what is important. They are safata from home.
They have been given.
From home, no musu hunu sa jima no mo ye no. Obenya hoden dia ye amada bia da bia won what nya bia je. E de akogilo ndia ba. Calculations are wodi ye ndia ofanya. Nobody cares about that. Ye mfa ho. Mo de safata hom. E di yo me say someone tena class da no mo ye ka hu. Etina me kan ade de akire won me say I lived with my grandparents from the age of 3. Me if you me chana me go secondary school. So you know how many years I am making wasem and they were cocoa farmers. It even now and then brem ho ni ye for na da brem no e ho sa. Wo be ko kwati cocoa ko bo nkumna mu. Na mu nnamu. Akwa na anya da age ne bra ye wa nyina. Na de ono tenka no te condition material nkusa won tell nkusa mu. What take class on tell nkusa won na tell nkusa mu. Ana won we enjoy. Look at the salary of the CEO of the Cocoa Board. And this guy, but Nina Chin, one Mako Waka and whom was so dear found the Nawajan. But Nina Chin, walk or Tonko Kuni bar, and Messissime. And my Messissime. O Kona Winya says, can I saw me to me, you got me to me because my father Mark only yes can be Quajama. Abayin Yakoko. Sama a foku and as the crab Ghana buying and I told you free economic matters by women that buying about or no some at us. Even what a individuals and wines are sick a bushan dear and conquer the end that they are done the whole and the one could take with them by permanent. Ah, ye dear to see a goose, ye dear to see a goose, permanent. Should they decide to stop? Unfortunately, none make us in YouTube. Me say minimum the SC. Come here, I say almost most of the mining areas, you know, as the cocoa moon as mining in the air. And that's one thing that is really affecting cocoa production in this country. It would the obi manus is menasu. Fan say, and the mining didn't qua and then say bit of flashy cocoa is asking manus is menasu. See cocoa ben abenya ko dinya ko nantin crofo enemy say o compass indicator loan. There will be no cocoa for you. It in as much as a woman so cocoa no so one faso. Na wunya sika bi diba e de be economy ni mu e de be man sika 71 to die no mu me come abana ti ase say we don't care your mathematics, we don't care your structures. Give the cocoa farmer what is due them. Mama kakwe safata no ne e ka ho asem o masa we ya ne no ane de we ya ne September mu ni wan we don't care and nan we wo ko so September and April is not the same. How many months now? It's about 9 months or more now. What I say? Enti say what mean ka say and oh ana say ya no ntino ana abedu say ni dem on say fata say na wunya frimu wutu am de ma o na wo so watom no mpo na wo say ye no say na say wunya busa ho say wo wunya dwuma bia ono obre no en de wonya no de wunya no are they the same except you are not being in the village except say won tra kokko bia say da de me kan minim say wo mu etia wo ma ye kokko adwuma pen enu de me kan the stress in it. The stress in it. Why we can obi? What carry or carry no? So they are not comfortable. Can what time button could do from say I
Coco cratch and
Coco cratch for no so and it's I under headache. One way boom faso. Boom faso. Having gone through all this stress and mess, e be dra ban say na ban so koto na bonti no no zika. Na me na metefo na me na nam kum na mu nam na matete mu tehwe afro mu ensuo mu. What your condition, mother? Oba na besisi me. Ya kan so say na mass ya de hwan ya de ya fa ngban. We don't care. We don't care. Let's speak in the ordinary man's way. The ya kan de kokko farmers ni ehia na say wo kan nyina na say aban ji wo kokko no koton na wonye sika fa so ba na nche fa so na say the safata. Simple. We mass is up to you. Who call them and not work your mass? We don't care.
But would you hold this position tomorrow? When the
I am holding the same
if the NDC should
no
come to power.
Whether NDC or
the point is how these things are calculated, no?
Obi,
are there, the principle is there.
Me say, I was building my point from the NDC statement.
Okay.
So I hold the same position. Try your button. I can say some I can recorded. Me fear. Na me bomb tips. This I tell them.
I will tell you.
I always do that.
In terms of the work can be you.
Remember, me tell you who pa can news stories about me as well. Me na. Because sometimes people know we are coming. Yeah, story now and point we go with our So I always go to read all those things about myself to know what is trend about me and everything. But the can be in Jamaica. Okay. Tomorrow, if the table turns, I will come and sit here and say issue about. I will stand the same way I'm standing today with the cocoa farmers because my country was a sabi me na say we me no unfortunately. Enti and I be a cocoa for woman you but say the American but did you na say pay enemy for so what side no so I will still stand with them once I'm a beneficiary I will always talk for them and master me tia wa me kan titibia me say aban didi kokko no koton no ba sika bi onya e bia no akuafon de sefata enya de wo dwene say ye de sefata wo mususu mo be ma wo musu ni age nya hoden ene opepa de adwuma no anante hasuo ma wo bra wadan da kope kokko ndi abra no famom simple matter
very well ma yempon
we touch your man pro.
Yes, of
course. I know. I'm proud that Govi, me say 20 years time, I know 100 years time, wouldn't see and now they can never catch a spot price and you find your calculation. Govi, me say that me out to me say, yes, I see him from shed do no you said she had your message.
Me that's it.
Oh, bear 1 minute to be an
Dabi. Oh, memory naso.
Oh, you know, be needy. You can't see me going to tell you. Oh, the microphone. What you say? We need you. What you say? Me tell me need you.